When it comes to hero powers, the priest is almost the exact opposite of the mage we discussed yesterday. While Jaina likes to blow stuff up, Anduin's more interested in making sure his allies stay healthy. That doesn't mean that he's not capable of dishing out some hurt. He has extremely versatile removal spells in Shadow Word Pain and Shadow Word Death, and if his opponent ever summons something big and scary in the late game, he can simply mind control it to do his bidding. Power Word Shield and Northshire Cleric both allow you to draw cards while keeping your minions strong, meaning we have different ways of getting to the cards we need. So now that we've taken a look at the deck, and the stage is set, it's time to answer the question, does Trump hold up? So let's jump into a game here and see how our priest holds up against Jaina. So that's actually going to be a fun matchup for us since we've seen how Jaina works. And again, we definitely want cards that we can play early. Obviously, we can get rid of this mind control here. Double Northshire is an interesting hand. They're obviously able to be played early. I'm going to get rid of one of them just because it seems a little redundant, but we'll hang on to the Power Word Shield. See if we can get something with just a little bit more firepower. That looks a little bit better to me. So on her first turn, unless she's got something like a Mana Worm or something, don't imagine she's going to do too much. I could be wrong. Oh, the Goldshire Footman. Alright, didn't see that one coming. Alright, so we've... Wow. Okay, so we've got a couple options here. I can Holy Smite that thing. 2 damage. This is actually seems like a pretty good target for that. I could even coin out Northshire if I want to keep board presence. And then next turn on turn 2, I still have mana for Acidic Swamp Ooze. That seems like the play I want to go with. So I'm going to destroy this guy. I'm going to coin out my Northshire and end my turn. So now I've already started to establish a little bit of control here. I could have held on to it, but just didn't like it. Just wanted it off the field. Generally speaking, when I have something that deals 2 damage, they got something that's, you know, got 2 health, seems good to me. So now the fact... Okay, so that actually changes a lot here. I'm going to heal up my Northshire. It's going to keep it on the field and allow me to draw a card. That play is just too valuable for me to pass up. It means that her Arcane Missiles dealt 1 damage to me and allowed me to draw a card. And that's all it did. So that was just way too much value for me to say no to. So there's an Iron Fur Grizzly. Let's see what we want to do here. I do have Shadow Word Pain, which will straight up destroy. And again, I talked about the versatility of this card. Any minion 3 or less attack. That seems like a great thing to get off the field. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I could Power Word Shield my Cleric, which will bring up to 5 health, but I don't really feel like it's that important to do so. I'm going to save it for something that's a little bit more valuable. I'm already getting some value out of this. I've dealt 2 damage with it. I've drawn a card off of it. I've already gotten some value out of it. I don't feel like I need to Power Word Shield this thing. Now I a little bit regret using using what I did, but that's okay. It's still not a huge problem for me. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out an Acidic Swamp Ooze. Now I'm going to Power Word Shield this thing. It's going to bring it up to 4 health. And I drew a card. I'll just hit directly, since obviously attacking the Water Elemental would do nothing but bad things for me. He does have the option of taking out my Cleric next turn. I'm okay with that. It's not a huge deal. Of course, it does have the second Water Elemental, which changes things a little bit. We'll see how that goes. So again, overall, I got my value out of that Northshire Cleric, so I'm okay with this. And I just drew my other one in case I really want one back. So how do I want to play this? I'm going to... I need to get this thing off the field. So I'm going to attack it, which is going to deal some damage to me. But I've got Holy Nova, so it's going to destroy it while also healing me back up. And I think that was the play that I wanted. Brings that thing down to 4 health. Gives me a good starting point. I did have to get frozen, which is a little lame, but I think it'll be fine. Depending on what else just got. Okay. Imagine she's going to go ahead and take out the ooze. No, went for face. Okay. That's not too bad then. So with 6 mana, I've got a few options here. Bring out Northshire. I've still got 5 left. So I definitely want a Shattered Sun. Now the question is, do I want to raise up my Northshire to a 2/4? I think yes. Yes, I do. And then I'm going to heal my Swamp Ooze, which is going to let me draw a card. And now I have Mind Control. So now that we're starting to get to the later stages of the game, she has something big, I have Shadow Word Death, now I have a Mind Control, which won't be relevant for a few turns, but good to know that it's there. And if she doesn't get rid of the Swamp Ooze, I can take out the Taunter with it without worrying about its Enrage effect, since it'll just outright kill it without even dying itself, and then I can always heal it back up with Northshire, again depending on the way she chooses to play this. Oh, that's a Stormwind champion. Okay, good thing I have a Shadow Word Death if I need it. Went direct there with both. That may end up biting him. I feel like it will. So I'm going to Shadow Word Death the Stormwind champion, because that's going to be one of the scarier things that he's got. This thing has 5 health remaining. So how can I most effectively deal with that? I feel like this is a no-brainer move. This I have to make. I could sacrifice both. Well, I'd sacrifice my Northshire and then... Or I sacrifice Shattered Sun, rather. I think I'm okay with that.
Right away.
And I'll take that out. Does leave me at 1, which lets her... Yeah, I'm not going to let her do that. I'm going to bring out another Ooze. I'm going to heal up my Shattered Sun. Draw a card. It's just, at this point, I have an opportunity to just have massive card advantage, and only being a few turns away from Mind Control, while still having a big guy like Boulder Fist in my hand, makes me feel pretty good. That might be a false sense of security, but we'll see how that goes. There's just way too much value there for me to pass up, which may or may not have been the right play.
I wonder.
But, you know, this is a guide for new players, and to be honest, I'm a pretty new player myself. So when I see something that's just that, has that much value, that can do that many things for me, it's really hard for me to say no to that. So just go ahead and ding me for 1, which is, I mean, fine. It doesn't really do much one way or the other. So at this point, because I don't want to have to worry about this thing too much, I'm going to go ahead and bring out my Taunter with 5 health. So she wants to do is basically have to run this into it and then use Hero Power to take it out. And for my next trick, I could either heal up my Ooze, or I can just bring out Gnomish Inventor. That'll let me draw a card. Or I can Shattered Sun, which actually I think is the way I'm going to go, so that she can't just run into it and ping it with her Hero Power. And then since attacking the Darkscale Killer really isn't going to do a whole lot for me, I'm just going to go ahead and hit her directly. And that will be my turn. So life is still equal, or close to equal anyway, but my board is significantly scarier than hers, and we're now only 2 turns away from Mind Control for whatever she may have up her sleeve. The fact that she has a summon that is only a 5/5. Did you misplay, or no? Okay, well there's a Frost Nova, that's interesting. You still have to attack my Taunter, though. You don't get to bypass it just because it's frozen. I still don't love the fact that you had a Frost Nova, but that's okay. And things you realize is that attacking here is not going to be great. It's going to bring her down to 1 health. I'll still have 2 left. I can always heal it back up. So that's the nice part about the priest. They always have to consider, well, if I don't kill it, but I can deal a lot of damage to it, well, he can always heal it back up. So that's something they always have to consider when playing against the priest, which is nice. Just have that little safety net there. So, like, overall, I feel like that trade's better for me than it is for her, honestly. If I weren't completely frozen, that would be helpful. So now, here's my play. I want that thing gone, I think. It's not worth it for me to mind control, so I'm going to go ahead and destroy it. I'm going to heal up my... Is it worth healing my Senjin? Because if I do that, it's only 4 health. Her Darkscale Healer can still kill it. Or I could heal up something else. I'll go ahead and heal my Ooze. Draw a card from there. Oh, that was nice. So I'm just not even going to give her the option. I'm just going to destroy that thing. So I may be frozen for this turn, but I still managed to destroy both of her cards because of my versatile removal. Now I've got 5 guys on the board with 4 cards in hand. She's got nothing on the board with 3 cards in hand. So we've done a great job of establishing card advantage here in board control. And now mind control is a threat. If I need it. Nightblade not really worth mind controlling, but that's okay. She's starting to feel the pressure, and you can see it. Just by hitting me, you know, for one, you can see she's feeling the pressure. Realizing that her options are quickly running out. I definitely want a Boulder Fist Ogre here. How many cards do I have left? I'll just keep in mind, because I'm constantly drunk, I do want to keep an eye on how many cards are left in my deck. Just to make sure I'm not putting myself in too terrible of a position. So I have a few options here. How much can I hit her for? 3, 6, 9, 11 here. So that's good. That'll bring her down to 10.
Must consider.
That's what I'm going to do. I feel really no need, I think, to take that out since it's still going to have to run into Senjin. And I think just to be on the safe side, I might just heal my hero here because I feel very, very confident now, especially with the mind control in my hand. So I'm just going to heal up my hero to make sure that nothing crazy happens in case, you know, 2 fireballs, you know, plus something insane. I also made it so Flame Strike doesn't completely wipe my board since I have a Boulder Fist Ogre. So I just wanted to protect myself from any shenanigans. I put myself in a great position to win. Last thing I need is something crazy like that happening. So unless one of those 3 cards in her hand is a huge savior, that's not going to be good enough. Do you have anything else? Is that a fireball? I think it's a fireball. Looks like she was thinking about what she could fireball. Yeah. There it is to the face. 1 last card in your hand, only 3 mana. That would be game. So, partially because it's fun, I'm considering just mind controlling one of those things, but again, at this point it really doesn't matter. So, I'm not going to be mean. I'll just go ahead and take these things out. Attack directly with my Boulder Fist Ogre, and that's going to be the game. So, I may have had 9 life at the end, but part of that was just from a direct fireball right at the end there, so that doesn't count for a whole heck of a lot. So I really had 15 minus that. But at no point during this game did I ever feel like I was in any real danger. The fact that I could keep healing up, I kept drawing cards off the Northshire Cleric, the Power Word Shield, I had the removal, I had the answers for everything. Any big thing she brought out, was immediately off the board, and that's the really nice part. The priest's removal is super flexible in Shadow Word Pain and Death, and it just makes for a really nice game plan. Things might change a little bit as you move up the ladder, but again, we're just starting out here. So just trying to get our feet wet, trying to learn the class, learn the game. The priest is actually really nice, since you're going to have answers for most of what your opponent puts on the board. So much like with our mage yesterday, for just starting out with the priest, Trump's deck absolutely worked.